Today's scoop explores the dramatic world of celebrity romance, where shocks and secrets seem to lurk everywhere. So hold on tight. We're disclosing a bombshell revelation that has the music and reality TV industries talking about the unexpected connection between reality star Brooke Bailey and rapper Jim Jones. Renowned for his turbulent and long-lasting relationship with Chrissy, the sudden sighting of Jim in a shocking situation has fans scrambling for answers. Is there a chance that Jim Jones and Brooke Bailey secretly got married? This conjecture comes after his 15-year public split with Chrissy, and there are many examples on display. Chrissy's declaration that she was finally over Jim was followed by speculations of a new romance a few weeks later. Comments poured in on social media when an odd photo of Jim and Brooke snuggling, laughing, and wait for it, dressed in wedding regalia surfaced. Fans tried to piece together what this photo might mean, speculating as to whether Jim and Brooke got married or if this is just another strange turn in the saga. The smiles, body language, and clothing all yelled romance. Let's take a moment to understand the buzz. The recent split between Chris and Jim marks the end of. After years of witnessing the ups and downs, proposals, breakups, and everything in between of their relationship, fans view Chrissy's public declaration that she was finally done with Jim and ready to move on as a moment of empowerment. But even though Chrissy and Jim's relationship seemed to be ending, there were signs that Jim was already moving on quickly, not just with anyone, but also with the glitzy Brooke Bailey of Basketball Wives. Jim and Brooke's appearances together were initially written off as coincidences, the result of two famous people just so happened to be in the same social circles. Following the release of the now famous photo of them, the internet went bananas. Fans surmised that Brooke's modest white gown and Jim's sharp appearance meant this was more than a casual get-together. Their chemistry was clear, and the entire situation seemed too intimate to be a casual gathering. The muttering grew louder as others asked whether Jim had really moved on so quickly and with someone who appeared to be a very public choice. Naturally, not everyone is persuaded. Critics think that this could be a promotional setup for a music video, reality show, or other project where drama is the intended result. When you're always in the spotlight, genuine events may often seem like marketing ploys. In reality TV, the lines between stage drama and real-life relationships are often blurred, making it difficult to discern fact from fiction. Is Jim genuinely dating someone else, or is this just the biggest marketing giggle ever? There is disagreement among fans. Some admirers applaud Jim for maybe falling in love again and celebrating his new connection, while others berate him for moving on so fast, especially after a long romance with Chrissy. According to their claims, Jim appears to have forgotten the years he and Chrissy spent together, which makes some admirers feel cheated on her behalf. Discussing whether Jim should be permitted to go on like everyone else or if he squandered years of Chris's life, fans are debating on social media. "That's crazy," remarked one admirer plainly, while another added, "People move on, it's just part of life." In spite of these opinions, a lot of individuals still think this may be. Chrissy is now in the spotlight more than ever, and fans and the media are watching her attentively to see how she will respond to this tornado of rumors. It's nothing more than a PR stunt to generate interest for her. Due to her straightforward demeanor, many people believe Chrissy will not hold back if she so chooses. Publicly discuss the issue. Some even hope Chrissy will make a comeback to reality TV to share her tale in a way that only she can and give fans a behind-the-scenes glimpse of her life after working out. Fans of Chrissy are ecstatic about the prospect of her reclaiming her tale and are waiting to see if she will speak out or continue to focus. Following her own route, according to reports, Jim's current girlfriend, Brooke Bailey, has a history of having affairs in public. Despite the difficulties that come with dating Jim Jones, Brooke has had highs and lows in her personal life, and if the wedding rumors are true, many are asking if this could be the new beginning she's been looking for. Given the challenges posed by Jim's background being so strongly associated with Chrissy, Brooke will unavoidably have to manage a relationship under close public scrutiny, given that many followers are loyal to Chrissy and would likely denounce her for joining Jim's life. Fans are left wondering if this is the beginning of the rumors as they swirl. A real story about love, or is the plot being made up by Jim and Brooke to keep the audience interested? If they were married, it would be a dramatic change in Jim's public image. If not, it could be a deliberate media gimmick to keep people talking. Regardless, there are no signs that the Brooke Bailey plot is losing popularity. Fans are hopeful that, considering Brooke's own history of relationship ups and downs, the couple will have a future that allows them to both thrive in ways they haven't previously. A new beginning and a chance for both personal and professional growth could be represented by the prospect of a new chapter with Jim Jones. She hoped that this relationship would finally give her the stability and fulfillment she's been looking for, but being Jim's partner has its challenges, especially given Jim's well-known previous connection with Chrissy Lamon, which makes comparisons to her awkward. Chrissy Gavin, without a doubt, played a significant role in Jim's life for over 10 years, during which he experienced numerous dramatic highs and lows that were visible to all. Supporters who have strong feelings for Jim and Chrissy's illustrious past can be critical of Brooke. The viewers of reality TV are not just fervently interested in Jim's adventure, but also highly vocal, and if Brooke were in Jim's life, there would surely be more speculation and discussion. He may use this contact with CHR as a turning point to remake himself and alter his public image. Jim was often portrayed as having a volatile personality, with complex actions and unresolved feelings seen on screen. Now, perhaps with a new beginning, Jim has the opportunity to show us a different side, one that values consistency, development, and a long-term commitment. But the question remains, is this a true love story unfolding before our eyes, or is it just another shrewd plot device to keep reality TV fans interested? The reports regarding neither Jim nor Brooke seem to be fading. Watchers are eagerly debating whether this romance is genuine or just another layer in the complicated world of reality TV, in a field where authenticity is usually difficult to distinguish from contrived drama. Their curiosity about every development in Jim and Brooke's relationship is unabated. Fans are left wondering how they will deal with Jim's previous repercussions, such as his well-known affair with Chrissy and the challenges of living a private life in a public setting. However, if this is simply another chapter in the history of reality TV, it reminds us how quickly viewers may be captivated by well-crafted charts and images. The internet is flooded with discussions, leaving us with more questions than answers. Is this merely another ploy to keep fans intrigued and guessing, or did Jim and Brooke really get married? The ambiguity is part of the allure and builds tension for the next reveal. There is a lot on the line, and whether this ends up being, given the years she spent with Jim, it must be difficult to watch their possible new relationship blossom. In anticipation of her response, her fans are questioning if this is a genuine love story or a camera trick. But there's no denying that Jim and Brooke have been successful in keeping supporters engaged. Whether she will continue on her own path, which is marked by her openness, or choose to confront the situation head-on. Given Chrissy's history of being open and honest with her followers, some have speculated that she could share her thoughts on this latest development. Supporters want to know whether she decides to speak out or take a more quiet approach. To see how she responded to all of the gossip that was going on between Brooke and Jim, everyone with experience in reality TV will be closely examining every action shot and chat Brooke has with Jim as she enters this realm of intense scrutiny. Even though Brooke is used to the attention that comes with being with Jim, a further degree of intricacy, his past history with Chrissy will inevitably be the lens through which fans view their bond, further complicating an already difficult dynamic. Others would back Brooke in the hopes that she would show Jim a different side, while others who remain with Chrissy could be suspicious of her. To move on, he needs to establish a balance between acknowledging his feelings for Chrissy and embracing this new chapter. As his fans watch him seem to move on, emotions are running high, with some feeling duped and others prepared to provide their support. Jim and Brooke's conversation has generated a lot of questions, curiosity, and debate. As additional information becomes available, viewers are still fascinated by the question of whether this relationship represents a new beginning for Brooke, progress and redemption for Jim, or simply a strategic maneuver to keep the limelight. The question that fans have is this a fresh start or merely another part of a well-planned reality TV story? As Chrissy continued to accuse Rashida, the situation became heated. In an attempt to soothe both of them and bring some peace back to the house, Jim had frequently tried to mediate their disputes, but when his feelings became unbearable, Jim felt the burden of. The decision was a temporary one, the product of fatigue and dormant bitterness, and it would alter the course of his life. His powerlessness and frustration were encroaching on him. There was a deafening silence that followed. Chrissy's expression appeared to freeze in time, and her eyes seemed to convey the depth of her feelings of betrayal. Jim felt an overwhelming surge of regret, knowing that he had crossed a boundary that he would never be able to get back. He felt hollowed out by the seriousness of what he had done, and all he could think about was the hurt he had inflicted in that 1 minute, a time he never believed he could have, and the expression on Chrissy's. As the confrontation quickly became known to the public, Jim was forced to face the serious consequences of his conduct. The altercation became widely known, drawing the attention of social media, where strangers harshly judged and opinions swirled. He understood that pain could never be fully healed by apology. None of them comprehended the full story, the emotional turmoil that had led him to that breaking point, or the depth of regret he now carried, despite his desire to explain that he knew no circumstance could ever excuse his actions. They examined his personality and discussed every detail they could. In the meantime, the dispute between, even with the passage of time, the wound the stress had left on their family would not heal. Jim's primary focus was trying to restore what he had lost, but the recollection of that event permeated every connection. Unresolved were the issues between Chrissy and Rashida, and the charges that had stoked their conflict remained unanswered. Recognized that repairing even a small fraction of the trust he had shattered when he split from Chrissy would be difficult and take time and effort. Jim immediately threw himself into the difficult work of making amends, both verbally and behaviorally. It was a painfully difficult process that involved going through layers of regret and self-awareness. He had to overcome new challenges every day in order to show Chrissy and himself that he was capable of being better. He realized how important it was to control his emotions and the disastrous consequences of letting anger control him. It ended up becoming a turning point in his life, a horrible time that he would never forget. Considering the perils of unbridled emotions while reflecting on his journey, Jim came to see that the incident was not simply a traumatic event, but also a crucial teaching moment about responsibility and forgiveness. By telling his story, he hoped that others would be inspired to face their own shortcomings before it was too late to realize how crucial. Self-regulation of feelings. Jim wanted people to know that even a tiny error in judgment could cause future harm that cannot be undone. Jim had discovered the hard way that a single act of rage could have far-reaching consequences that impacted not just himself, but also the people he held closest. Focused on repairing his relationships. Even though the road was far from complete, he walked each step with the knowledge that he was responsible for the harm he had caused and that he would never again let his anger rule his behavior. He was mending the damaged ties and strengthening the ones he still valued. We remain watchful against the temptations that had deceived him. Jim saw this experience as a chance to better himself, and he committed himself to it, understanding that the job was a lifelong pursuit and that every day offered a chance to make new choices. He took ownership of it, understanding that true change would require both remorse and a fresh commitment to his loved ones. Jim aspired to be a different, more mature version of himself every day, not the depressed person he was at the time. Eventually emerged as a stronger, a generous man